Welcome to Pontypool Park, once the home of the Hanbury family and now the People's Park, a green heart in the borough of Torvine. It's lovely trees, pleasant walks, leisure centre and dry ski slope all combine together to make it an ideal place to visit. Of course, the reason I'm here today is because it's also home for the legendary Pontypool Rugby Football Club, established in 1868 and known throughout the world. So, who better to meet up with here today and talk about those glory days of Welsh rugby than Pontypool former captain Eddie Butler. Hello Eddie.
Hi Jenny.
Now we've just been up to Pontypool Market there with your great book. And that great book signing that has just been your life for the last few months, I guess.
It has. It's we finished it quite early in 2011, but then came the World Cup and we had to have a bit of a rethink really. So we managed to squeeze in a few extra words based on the World Cup, which made it a very busy year. And now we're just going around trying to flog it for Christmas, really. So it's been the best. I tell you what, it's been great fun. I was a bit worried that it was going to be a labour more than love, but it's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. And today at the market, you just bump into so many people from the old days, and it just turned into a sort of nostalgia fest.
And of course, with Graham Price there today as well, legendary Pontypool front row.
Pricey makes it at number 3. He would never forgive me. Imagine writing a rugby book without Graham Price as your tight head prop. But of course, Adam Jones has given him, you know, a real run for his money. But
yes, I know, he definitely has. So we've talked about the book a little bit, but let's talk about you and your time here spent in Pontypool in that red, white and black
red,
shirt.
white and black. Look at you.
I know, I thought I'd come dressed for the part today.
Yeah.
So how was it to play out on this pitch here, Eddie?
Well, what always struck me about Pontypool Park, it is fantastically beautiful. I mean, it is the most picturesque setting. And I just loved the contrast that the rugby here was anything but picturesque. You know, it was a brutal, hard rugby we deliberately played. You know, we knew our limitations and we had to do what we did, and we did it flat out. And I think the key to Pontypool, we always played at a high level, which made us vulnerable, because when the cup came along, other clubs would hit spikes, and their spike might go through our high level. So we suffered in the cup. But along the course of a season, at our high rate of activity and success, we were good. So we always won the sort of the long haul tournaments, which was unofficial in those days. Unofficial. So we were only ever the unofficial champions of Wales.
Oh, no, the official, written, documented in books. Have you got any pioneering moments that stands out on this exact pitch for you? Can you just go in your mind back there right now, a flashback? I got two that do. One is when Cardiff beat us in the cup. Right. And Gerald Davis scored his 4 tries running uphill through the mud. And he must have touched the ball 4 times and scored 4 tries. Cardiff must have touched the ball 4 times and Gerald scored 4 tries. And the other one was when Llanelli came here at the end of the season. And we were a bit worried because they were the great masters of running rugby, and it was a Dust Bowl in April. And we beat them by 50 points. We just, we were on a bit of a roll, and something clicked, and we were just electrified, every one of us, and we beat them at their own running game. Beat them at their own game.
Rare for us.
And how was it? You know, it stands here a little bit dilapidated on this side right now, Eddie. But how was it to see that totally full?
Well, it wasn't so much here. I mean, this was good enough. This was good enough, but it was over there. That was the bank. Yeah. And although the concrete doesn't go very, very high, on really big match days, you know, the crowd would spill up.
I remember.
Right up into the trees.
Yeah.
And that was something else.
The sound, the chant, Pooler.
Yeah. Oh, can you feel it?
Yeah, I can. Oh God, I used to lose my voice. I used to chant that like there's no tomorrow. Yeah. Now, Eddie, you've inspired lots of people with your career, what you've had. Captain Pontypool, Wales, commentating, presenting too. Yeah. Who's inspired you? Who are your inspirations within rugby and commentating?
Oh goodness. Well, I suppose I was playing-wise, I was brought up in the 70s. Started playing here at Pontypool in 1976 when I was very young. And I suppose Gerald Davis was special. Phil Bennett. I've been playing against Phil Bennett, and nobody laid a finger on him all day. I've always loved the notion that it's a brutal game, it's a hard game, but in the midst of all the mayhem, a little genius can survive untouched.
Yeah.
And Phil Bennett, for that, was me. So I love Benny. But the players here were great. Bobby Windsor was one tough man. Bob, Terry Cobner,
Yes.
everybody, and the guys that didn't get capped. Steve Jones, the hooker, Chris Hewish in the back row.
Well, it's like the players who didn't make it into that book of yours.
Yeah. I do apologise for them all. I do, and honestly, because they were very special.
Apology.
Mark Brown was an extraordinary rugby player. He was pencil thin, and yet did a job for us which was unique. That he was so fast. He ate up the yards and brought down the speediest of people. But he was great. And I suppose I tell you the one commentator that I used to love listening to or not listening to, because he made silence such a virtue, was Richie Benno. Richie Benno doing the cricket. And
put you to sleep.
The golden rule was, if you can't add something to the picture, shut up. And it's true, it's just, if you can't, and you can always add something, even if it's only a name, but at least that's an identification. But I try and work on that. If you're not supplementing, be quiet.
Oh no. I'm trying to think, what am I adding to this? I think I'm going to be quiet. That's a really great philosophy, actually. If you're not adding, if you've got nothing to say, don't say it. But so many people are fond of their voices. Eddie, I absolutely love hearing your voice. When I turn on the rugby on Welsh International Days and you're commentating there, you've got a lovely musicality to your voice that almost it makes me feel proud to be Welsh, and it makes me listen to you, and I think that speaks for the whole of Wales, actually. So how does it feel to be held in that esteem?
Well, I'm very flattered, Jenny, but
it's true.
I think I was told that I would never make it on the presentation front. When I first said I fancy a go at.
Really?
Yeah, because I joined the BBC as a producer, an assistant producer.
Okay.
Yeah. And they sort of said, we don't think you've got a voice for it. So, you have to have a bit of faith, really, in what you want to do and stick with it. So it took a while.
Yeah.
So you just you have to be stubborn and obstinate and keep going and hope that.
Well, I think with yourself, you've got the knowledge backed by your playing days to take it to the screen. So you're already a known member to take it to the presenting, commentating level.
Yeah, and I think there's one other thing, that once you're doing it for a number of years, that you do become part of the furniture, and I think, which is almost out of your control. So people do get used to the sound of something. When you first arrive, it may grate. For example, my voice may have grated after Bill McLaren, but because then you become part of the groove
Eddie
of rugby.
Butler.
Yeah, no, it does help. So you need time, you need a break, you need luck, and then you need time in the job. Does that help?
It does help. That's for all of you inspiring people who want to be commentators and rugby players. You heard it from Eddie Butler himself, coming to you from Pontypool Park, Eddie's home ground. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, I'm bursting tears now.
Well, from a very wet and rainy afternoon here in Pontypool Park, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.